Hey everyone, Whitney here, and this is episode 5 of my series called Your Gluten-Free Life. Now, if you watched episode 3, I think it was, I talked a lot about what I think, in my opinion, is the appropriate testing for evaluating yourself for gluten sensitivity and celiac disease, the appropriate blood work, okay? So if you missed that, definitely go back and take a look at that. But today, I just want to touch on why you should continue to run some basic labs on yourself, even after going gluten-free, even if you're feeling worlds better than you did before going gluten-free. You can't assume that everything is, hunky-dory. Okay, so just like if you had some other chronic illness like diabetes or thyroid disorder, part of your annual blood work would be to take tabs, to check in on those disorders. You're going to want to look at, hemoglobin A1C, for instance, to see, how you've been dealing with blood sugar over the last few months. You're going to want to look at thyroid hormone levels and see, hey, is your medication dosage correct? Is your thyroid, functioning properly? Whatever, right? I mean, that's just common sense stuff. So the same is true if you have celiac disease or non-celiac gluten sensitivity. It doesn't end when you get the diagnostic testing. So what you want to do, in my opinion, is every year you want to run some basic labs just to make sure that all of your efforts at being gluten-free are successful, right? That nothing is sneaking through. Now, what I see in my practice time and time again is that even when people are feeling better, way better, right, than they were prior to their diagnosis, when we run their annual blood work, oftentimes they have elevated antibodies to different peptides of wheat and gluten. And then we have to start figuring out, what's sneaking through. Is it a personal care product? Is it a supplement? Is it, some new food or a new restaurant? That's kind of like the investigation that has to take place. The other batch of tests that I run on my clients who are celiac or gluten sensitive is testing them for elevated antibodies to other foods that are not gluten foods, but that cross-react with gluten. And what I mean by that is that there are foods out there that your immune system will mistake for gluten because the protein structures look kind of similar. So for instance, corn or rice or dairy, if you're gluten sensitive and you've developed a cross-reactivity, when you consume those foods, your immune system responds as if you're still eating gluten and, shit hits the fan again, right? So in addition to testing for whether or not you're being exposed to gluten, I want to see whether or not your immune system is reacting to these foods that cross-react with gluten, okay? So these are the things I think should be done every year by anyone who has celiac disease or non-celiac gluten sensitivity. So in order to do this, though, it's not really your traditional doc that's going to know how to run all these things. They're very specialized peptide-based functional labs that will give you the information that you need. So you really should be working with a functional practitioner like myself or someone else, in your community, someone who truly is a functional medicine practitioner, okay? Or perhaps someone who is a certified gluten-free practitioner, or both, right? Like me. So that's what I got for you today. If you have any questions, definitely DM me. And make sure to hit my link in the Instagram bio if that's where you're watching this. If you're catching this on YouTube, there's a link below. You can reach out to me, schedule a discovery call. Let's see if we can work together. Or at the very least, I've got a free checklist for how to establish a gluten-free house, step-by-step, strategic kind of approach to making sure that you're getting your environment safe for you. Okay, so you may want to check out that link as well. Alrighty, take care, everybody, and I'll see you next time.